Hillcrest at Hillcrest.
Yes, sir.
The following week. So, let's talk.
Well, we knew this was going to be a tough week, and and golly, Coach, I guess the best thing to do is just let you, man, just take it over. We had 2 weeks to prepare. It definitely was not what I expected. I don't think it's what you expected. Go in with us. Tell us what you think. What happened.
Yes, sir. I got you.
What we're doing to fix it, and we'll just go from there.
I got you. Like you said, definitely tough. I mean, the feeling you got right now, tough. But you have to stay motivated. You got to stay grinding. I guess we'll start back from the beginning. From the last show we had, we felt like we had a couple weeks to prepare. We felt pretty confident in what we would see. And that held true. We weren't surprised by anything they did schematically, weren't surprised by anything we saw defensively they do as far as schemes or packages. We felt very prepared going into it, but at the end of the day, I believe we ran into a really good football team, and as I told my guys, I love my guys to death. I still believe we're getting better every day, and the team you saw last Friday is not the team that you're going to see take the field this past Friday, and we hope to be better every Friday. However, the facts are the facts, and last Friday, a team that played hard every single play and paid attention to detail and executed in minute detail, just like it was as important as running hard or playing hard. When they are supposed to take a 1 yard step, they took a 1 yard step, not a 1.5, not a 3 yard step.
Yeah,
they pay attention to detail, and that is where we are still struggling. And that's just an honest fact to it. We can call it what it is. I've watched the film relentlessly and religiously, if you will, and we are still not a football team who consistently does the little things well. And until we do that, we will struggle against teams like Bayside and coming up in a couple weeks, a team like Hillcrest. We have good players. We have good athletes. But we know we don't have 4 or 5 D1 SEC athletes that we can kind of roll the ball out there and just play.
Right.
Okay, hey, he may have took a bad step right there, but he's fast enough to get to the edge, and he's going to run over 1 or 2 folks.
Right.
Maybe I didn't have them all blocked.
Mm-hmm.
We have to beat people by being in better shape, consistent in what we do, and execution is flawless. We may not always run you over. We may not always can bulldoze the line of scrimmage, but we are always where we're supposed to be, doing what we're supposed to do. Good things do happen, and that's the step that we have not yet taken. That's the step that we have to find a way to get it done. That's the step that we've got to bring from practice to the game. As a coach, it would be frustrating, but it would be a little easier to understand if some of the things we struggle with showed their head in practice a little more. I mean, I'll be completely candid, guys, and that's something I'm doing a little self-reflection. How does some of this stuff sneak up on us on Friday when it's not getting exposed during the week? So we've changed some things up. We've done some things different. We're trying to kind of push our guys in a certain direction to make them compete every single day. Now, given we thought we were doing this, but we always can self-evaluate as coaches as well, and whatever we were doing in the beginning, mindset-wise, apparently was not getting through. Now, at the same time, how do you not sit here and hit the panic button? Because it's only the second game. You're down 5 or 6 starters due to injury, and how do you know you don't want to just hit the panic button and you got to keep grinding and believe you come out on the other side? Well, I don't believe in hitting the panic button, but I also don't believe in running headfirst into the concrete wall expecting the concrete wall to break. So what we're trying to do is a mixture of the two. How do we take what we saw and fix the issues we see, but at the same time not sitting here and think the sky's falling and we just need to bench everybody and start over?
Yeah.
That's not what we're going to do. We're going to move forward. We believe in what we're doing, but we do believe in adjusting every step of the way. And it boils down to 2 simple things: mindset and execution. Mindset and execution. And that's the things that we've got to get better at.
And that's probably one of my biggest things that I've always seen, and not just, and I'm not talking about this particular program, I'm talking about especially high school programs in general. You guys are gurus on X's and O's. Okay, that's your job, and I get that. Myself, and I think I speak for Ashley as well, we're not gurus on X's and O's.
No,
and I feel the same way. So, does it come a point in time to where you think about, is my offense, is my defense, is it too complicated? I mean, I get it. You get it. If Ashley called either one of us and told us how to, put this size person to sleep, we would be deer in the headlights. He gets it. But do the kids get it? Do they really, really get it? I mean, is it too complicated? Is it too advanced?
I would, if you, I see exactly what you're talking about, and in seasons past, especially early on last year when and we had those injuries halfway and we got really young, you would see those mistakes. It's a double-edged sword. One of the things we're actually pretty dadgum good at that I saw against Bayside was actual assignments. We were not confused. We were not confused at all against Bayside. We didn't have anybody going the wrong direction. We didn't have anybody doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, I couldn't put my finger on
what we had, man, and it is what it is. It happens to the best of us. You can say I got out-coached, and you can say the players got outplayed in a sense. In other words, X's and O's, right? All we can do is put you in the best position to succeed.
Right.
As a linebacker, if I have you unblocked to the alley and you meet the running back in the alley, you either tackle him or you don't. There's nothing else I can do for you.
That's right.
If if we're in cover 2 and the safety is supposed to get over the top, and the receiver runs a go route and the safety's supposed to be over the top, and the guy jumps up and catches the ball, I mean, we work drills like that, but at the end of the day, you make the play as offensive lineman. There's a few times we run blast against a 5-man box where I have 6 guys and the quarterback makes 7, so I got 7 going against 5, and we don't get the 2 or 3 yards.
Exactly. And they were showing a 3-man
That's
front.
what I'd say, man. That's not, that's not necessarily something that somebody was confused on, or we're too complicated, or we didn't put them in the best position to succeed.
Just
you
didn't
have to
execute.
get the job done.
Didn't execute.
And that's the next step for us. Now, sure, there's things, and look, we went through some of those things you're talking about where, okay, we didn't understand this, maybe we're confused, and now with the playing time and some of the experience we have, that's kind of where a lot of my confidence came from early on. Is we grasp what we got on offense and defense. We're pretty good at what we're doing, but we're not getting the job done.
I have not seen that as much this year as I did last year. I will say that. And, in talking about Bayside, you're absolutely right, 100%. First of all, they're a much better team than what I gave them credit for this year.
Well,
okay, they're a juggernaut.
Oh, my goodness.
And I really don't know if any team in our area might have a. I ain't gonna say Hillcrest won't. Hillcrest is good.
They are. That'll be a good game. I looked today. AL.com's got Bayside picked.
I think Bayside's going to beat them in the fourth quarter, man. It's going
to be a good ball game. I'm with you.
And actually, I'm pulling for Bayside because I think, if Hillcrest beat them, it's going to be tough on our boys mentally, too. But, they're well coached, yes. They execute every play to the point. But, the biggest thing that I saw the difference was, man, they were just so much more physical and so much quicker.
Were.
Sure.
I mean, those plays came off like, if you weren't up there on the line ready to make the tackle, they had 3 yards on you.
Mm-hmm.
Me and you talked about this. It seemed like the first half our offense kind of developed a little slow. The second half, it developed quick. And we were gaining 5, 6, 7, 10 yards and started making some drives on Bayside, which very few people's done this year. And then it'd be penalties. That shot us in the dang foot.
I know that's the one thing I agree. I was going to brag on. If you look at overall, the last 2 games, penalties we're getting much better, but those costly ones you're exactly right, Ashley. That holding call and those 2, I guess, false start penalties came at the worst times.
Yeah, and I didn't see them. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not see the false start. Usually you can see the false starts.
No comment.
I did not see the false starts, but. And I ain't going to say that it made a difference on the game at all.
Sure,
they were clearly the better team on the field.
Without question.
And they beat us up and down the field, offense and defense. Even on some of Ashton's tackles, I thought he did decent at linebacker. But it was still 2 or 3 yards upfield.
Right.
On some of those tackles. Those guys are so quick.
Quick, too, and explosive off the ball. And that is, I know me and you had a conversation earlier in the week, and I told you, and I'll say it out here for everybody, one of my biggest disappointments is our pad level up front and just coming off the football.
Sure.
That's frustrating. Like I said, talking about carrying over in practice, that's something, man, I promise you, if we're lethargical or not coming off in practice, we would be having some issues. We'd be getting after them. We'd be going at it. And that's what we're trying to put our finger on. Is it a case of nerves? Is it a case of I don't know. I really ain't got nothing to say, man. I'll be completely honest. It's no excuse. It's no excuse when it is 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2 and you don't fire off the football. There's no excuse.
You got to want it.
At the end of the day, there's nothing. You either coming off or you're not.
Well, in somewhat, and I promise you here, don't take this as I'm making an excuse, but in my own personal opinion, okay, I think Bayside's defense was the best defense I've seen us play against in 2 years. this year's Bayside defense. I don't, other than maybe with the likes of Mobile Christian, okay? The way they executed, every time there was an opportunity made, it collapsed so incredibly quick. It was like a wave. It absolutely collapsed.
3 points in 3 games. I mean, they're good.
I remember one time there was a wide lane you could drive a truck through that Josh was running over the end. That thing closed up like that, and he got hammered.
You said they gave up 3 points.
They've given up 3 points.
Okay, I thought
for the whole year.
We were wrong. Then we thought they had come into that game and no one had scored on.
They
I
scored
did
a
too.
touchdown on.
I did too. They gave up a field goal to the opening drive against Houston Academy, and that's it. That's it. They've given up a field goal this year.
Well, they're just physical.
They are physical.
Attack the ball and they fire off the ball like you said, and we've got to figure out how to make our guys. I mean, you would think if you would see a team like that, you would want to be like that team, It works for them. They don't do anything fancy.
No, it's
like
really
you said,
not.
they didn't do anything out there.
Oh,
it
no,
was just good old-fashioned smash-mouth football.
Oh, no doubt.
And they're not big.
Who's going to come off? They did a good job. They're definitely a good football team. And as much as we didn't meet that challenge as a team, I saw a lot of improvements in some guys who had struggled the week before.
That's right.
Then I saw some guys who didn't struggle the week before that struggled this week. And I'm not going to put anybody on blast and call names out here, but we got some guys, they know that they're capable of playing better than what they did last Friday. There's some of our guys that we hang our hat on, so to speak, and we depend on, a couple of them, and they didn't perform to what they hold their standard to, what we hold their standard to, and we believe that that's not going to be something that happens every Friday. Everybody has a rough game, and sometimes when a couple of your big guys have a rough game at the same time, it can get ugly. And
well, enough about the negative. I mean, you can only beat that horse so much.
yes,
So
Well, we're going to get more into it and talk about this week's practice and the upcoming game. Not this week, of course, but more to come right here on 92.5 FM Panther Talk. We're going to listen to a word from our sponsors.
When a new restaurant food and a great menu, well, we call that crazy. As in Crazy J's, Frisco City's newest restaurant. Start with the weekly lunch special with fixins like pork chops, cornbread, great sides like lima beans, rice and gravy, and more. 3801 Bowden Street. Want to know what they've got cooking in the kitchen? Call 251-267-7080. That's 251-267-7080. Or you might even find specials on Facebook. Unpredictable, a little crazy, but good food. Crazy J's, 3801 Bowden Street, Frisco City. Serving Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 10:30 in the morning till 9 at night. Friday and Saturday till 10 in the evening, and Sunday morning starting at 10:30 till 8 at night. Everyone's going crazy for Crazy J's.
When you're stranded by the road with a flat tire and no spare, who are you going to call? Call Castello's Towing at 251-765-3088 and let Castello's do the work. Castello's Towing will pick up your car, truck, or big rig, and they'll repair it too. It's time to do business with a hometown crew that'll be there for you. Call Castello's Towing. Remember their number, 251-765-3088. That's 251-765-3088. Let Castello's Towing do the work and repair for your ride. Who are you going to call? Castello's Towing. 251-765-3088. 2420 Highway 136 West, Excel, Alabama.
Harrigan Lumber Company has been doing business in South Alabama for over 40 years. The company is still owned and operated by the Harrigan family, who live right here in our neck of the woods. You don't stay in business for 40 years without treating people right. And ever since they've been in business, the owners and employees of Harrigan Lumber Company have earned a reputation for doing just that. If you've got timber to sell, call the folks at Harrigan Lumber Company. They'll offer a fair price and will treat you like their neighbor. After all, they are your neighbor. So give Harrigan Lumber Company a call at 575-4821 or look them up online at harriganlumber.com.
It's time to move. Haul, clean, cut. South Alabama Kubota has what you need to get the job done. Check out the new Husqvarna's Z454 with 17 height adjustment positions of the cutting deck, all controllable by easy foot activation. Get your yard under control with this beast of a zero turn. South Alabama Kubota has 6x10 and 6x12 single axle 3,500-pound capacity trailers back in stock. Kubota, Skag, Echo, K2 coolers, rental and used equipment too. Farmers, homeowners, come on down and talk to Daniel, Michael, Bob, and the crew at South Alabama Kubota, 2951 South Alabama Avenue, or visit southalabamacubota.com, 251-575-3146. Get the job done with the hometown team at South Alabama Kubota, Monroeville.
A familiar place with some new faces and a new name is back. Nichols Bait and Tackle, formerly JJ's, is now open. Owner David Nichols invites you to stop by and pick up some live bait and tackle before your fishing trip. Ice cold drinks, snacks, and ethanol-free gas. Be prepared for that cookout or camping trip and pick up your propane. Nichols Bait and Tackle, 1197 Highway 84 East, Monroeville. Bait, tackle, and a whole lot more. Nichols Bait and Tackle, 251-765-2741, Monroeville.
One of the most important things you can do for your family is also one of the most difficult to think about. Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery is here for you. Pre-planning your final arrangements protects your family from additional stress and anxiety and comforts them with peace of mind knowing you made arrangements in advance. It's all about concern for you and your family's future. Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery is here for you. They can help you prepare so they won't be burdened with final arrangements during a time of grief. Call the professional staff at Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery, 2252 Highway 84, West Frisco City, Alabama. Your local memorial provider. Call 251-575-5200. That's 251-575-5200 or visit monroechapel.com.
Look around your living room. Is your couch sagging? Is your recliner held together by duct tape? And your bed? Maybe you don't get a good night's sleep because it's over 20 years old. It's time to upgrade. It's 2017 with D&D Furniture, Frisco City. D&D Furniture has your sofa, recliner, bedroom furniture, sectionals, mattresses, dining tables, and chairs. The list goes on and on. D&D Furniture, your Ashley Furniture distributor. If you don't see it, they can order it. It will beat anyone's price. They deliver free within 100 miles. D&D Furniture, 19 Central Street, Frisco City, 251-267-3767. Look for the big yellow and blue building and like D&D Furniture on Facebook.
Welcome back, Panther fans. So, starting off our second half, Ashley.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, like I said, we've hammered this as much as we can hammer it. At the end of the day, Cody's the coach. He's the head coach. There's a lot of backseat coaches out there. I'm one of them. I'm guilty of it myself. I'm not going to lie about it. And I love being able to talk to him sometimes and just throw stuff off him because it makes me feel involved even though I'm not really involved. And I love those boys. I've been around them for years. And, but you got to trust your coach. And Bayside was a... like I said, they were a good team, but we need to focus more on the positive now. We know what we got to do to fix it, and we'll see if it gets fixed. And we just need to focus on the positives from here on.
There you go. So focusing on the positives this week, Coach. What have we done? What are we doing different? We saw some things last week. One, I wasn't expecting to see Trip Mills running the football coming out of the back, and did well. Yeah, he hit that hole pretty hard. He hit it hard, and I think it was around a 3-yard, 4-yard gain, something like that.
It was about a 3-4-yard gain. One missed tackle, he could have popped it for a little bit. We had like I said, one execution. We didn't get our head on the right side of the guy we trapped.
Right.
So he kind of lays out and makes a play, and that's kind of what we talked about earlier, that I have faith these kids are going to take that step. I know it sounds like I'm hard on them, but I'm supposed to be hard on them. I still truly believe we are going to bust through and get that. But just the Trip Mills is once again a microcosm. Something as small as getting your head on the inside of the guy we're trapping,
makes
so
a
that
difference.
Pulling guard gets his head on the inside, the guy doesn't reach out. Instead of a 3 or 4 yard gain, it's more of a 9 to 12 yard gain.
Absolutely.
And we get a first down that drive, as opposed to not getting it. This little stuff. And when you play teams like Bayside, those little things get
well, you got to keep their offense off the field,
that's the whole thing you do, and that's what football is all about, is you hope to execute so well or be so talented that you put the other team's mistakes under a microscope. And Bayside did a great job of that. And look, there's teams that we could have played that if we'd have played that caliber, the score wouldn't have been that bad. But guess what? We played Bayside that Friday. That's the challenge we took. That's what it is.
Yes.
That's what happened. Now, this week in practice, we've mixed up a few things as far as some competition. We've kind of started trying to do a little more live action hitting away from scrimmage, because we're a full contact scrimmage team. We go live to the whistle all the way, but we also kind of just a little one-on-one, some board drills people call it, putting your hand in the dirt, just trying to get a little excitement, trying to establish some pecking order, and getting just some competitive juices flowing. at the beginning of practice every time.
Okay.
Very, very happy with practice from yesterday. Today was a good practice. We were in shells today, executed fairly well. But when you compare it to the practice we had yesterday, it wasn't nearly as good, and we hope to kind of build on that. So that's the only slight disappointment. But at the same time, the practice from yesterday was probably the best practice we've had all year, and we needed that because I'm not gonna lie, man. When the week started off, the guys show up to work. They did. They're not slacking on us, but you could just tell the attitude, the intensity, the excitement was down, and we kind of just shook some stuff up. Got to give Coach Armstrong a shout out. It was his idea to shake some things up with that drill that we did, and we did it. And we did a few more things to kind of try to give some excitement as far as some X's and O's. I think anybody that's watched us knows we struggle with contain. We're struggling containing big time. So we kind of made some adjustments without giving away to change responsibilities about who is actually containing. And, like I said about banging your head on the concrete, right? You can't keep hollering, we can't contain, we can't contain. What are we doing as a coaching staff to put kids in a better position to contain? So we think we've done that this week. Anybody that comes to practice probably can see the alignment a little bit different. But I'm very happy with the team attitude. And it's like we said, guys, and I know we've had it in private conversations. What's your two choices? We're going to throw our hands in the air. Oh, my God, we got beat by Bayside so bad. Neal didn't work out so good. I guess we should just pack it up and go through the motions. That's not us. That's not us. That's never going to be us. That's not who we want to be. That's not who I want to be.
You adapt and overcome.
Without question. Or at the very end, you fight to the very end. Okay? The things that we're famous for, and hopefully we don't end up in the same fate as the 300 Spartans or as the Lost Battalion in World War I. But, the point is that even against odds, it's about do you fight or do you not? And that's like the old saying goes, well, who won? Son, sometimes it don't matter. It matters who fought.
A lot of it's according to your mentality, Coach, kind of like you're a history guy. When Chesty Puller was a young boot lieutenant in Korea at the Frozen Chosen, was surrounded by all sides, and one of his boot lieutenants come up to him and said, "Sir, I got some bad news." He said, "What's that?" He said, "We're surrounded by all sides." He said, "Oh, heck, boy, that ain't bad news. That's good news." He said, "Sir," he said, "that means we can kill them in any direction we want to."
There you go.
And
that's mindset
and
right
you
there,
know
baby.
what? And they did, and carried their own dead with them. And that is the kind of mentality I think, for the most part, a lot of our boys are missing right now. And I really do think that what you did this week, Ashton came home pumped. And I don't know if it's just because he had a good practice or what, but all he talked about was the team.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that
went well.
He said it was great. It was fun. He said, "Daddy, we actually got out there and hit and could call people out." And that's what it's all about. And these boys respond to stuff like that. They do. It gets in their psyche. Because they need to have the mentality when they walk out there on that field Friday night. It don't matter the caliber of the team. They can kill them in any direction they want to.
Go.
Run the ball, let me
You're
tackle.
exactly right. How do we? That's the question. How do we get them to have that same mentality when they go against each other when they see a different uniform on Friday?
Yeah, and that's what I
we
was
gotta
going to
do.
ask. What do you do as a coach? To keep morale up, to keep boosting it. I understand changing things up and all, but I mean, is there? It's got to be an art form to this.
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm learning on the fly a little bit too. I just take it as everything, and the kids help you do it. You got to be real about it. You can't go in there and give them some Shakespearean speech that was wrote down by the great Vince Lombardi, even though the words look great. If it ain't from your heart and it don't apply to their life, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
And
in his words, show me a
I'm
good
gonna tell
loser,
you
and I'll
secret.
show you a
Now,
loser,
look,
right?
I'm not very good at a lot of things, but I am pretty good at this kind of stuff.
You are.
And I have been around it with the military. And here's how you do it. You make them feel like they earn the right to put on that black and gold. That they work so hard during the week that they're glad to hit somebody else on Friday, and that they're the bullies walking out there on that field, because they're the bad ones. They're the good ones. I mean, they're tough. You've got to bleed that in them, and that only happens through hard work, so that they want to quit just about every day. They want to quit, but they don't. And then at the end, you build them up, and then they know they've earned it.
I agree with that.
And that's a lot of it. And I'm seeing a lot of that. And don't get me wrong, I am seeing a lot of that. And you're starting to see some of these young kids especially start to tune in to some of that. But anyway, I think mixing it up this week at practice was huge. I think that helped a lot. So,
Oh, definitely. We always are looking to get better, and there's one thing, I can't promise you we'll win every game. We definitely don't think we're going to lose every game. But I can promise you we're going to train every week like we're trying to win at 50-0 every single time, no matter if we're playing the Dallas Cowboys or the Harlem Globetrotters.
And
mean,
Coach,
right.
I will
We're
say
gonna
that's
play.
one thing about you that I've noticed. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I was worried about you the first year. You wanted to do everything yourself. You know, it was. I think it was maybe a trust factor there. I don't know.
Yeah,
With
some
some of
things,
it.
you know, as the old saying goes, the ox is in a ditch, you got to get him out. You don't wait on somebody else to come get him.
But
Yeah.
I have seen you from first year to the second year. You made a lot of changes. You
Delegated
adapted,
more.
delegated more. This year, you're mixing it up a little bit, making some changes. You know, I mean, I think you're doing what you need to do. Is what I'm trying to say.
I appreciate it. We got to get the filler, man. I'll just say, when you get here, we look like a program, and I'm going to brag on y'all, the Booster Club, the players. Okay, when you get here, you know, we want Excel to be competitive, right? We know who we play. We don't even look like nobody else. So one thing we're trying to do is, one, from the outside to the field house, to the field, to the new uniforms, to the weight program we're doing. I do feel like now when Excel walks on the football field, we look just like everybody else. I mean, we work out, we got arms, we got legs, you can see our strength, you can see our muscles, you can see the nice uniforms, you can see the crowd support, you come to our stadium, you can see the new fences, you see all this stuff. But what you're talking about is heart and mind. Because right now, you know, it's a step. It's steps in this process. And Bayside, without question, exposed that, but it's also a measuring stick. I promise you, you ain't going to find nobody else just way better shape than we are. You name a football game that you watched in the last 3 years that you just saw, well, the other team is fresh as all get out and Excel's dog tired. It don't happen that way. We train as hard as anybody. But what, like I said, that light switch that has to come on, that final step, is when you meet the running back in the alley. There's no drill, there's no whistle, there's no motivational speech. Are you going to make the play, or are you not going to make the play? And to Ashley's point, and that's something I'm trying to figure out, is he defeated when he meets him in the hole, or was he defeated before the ball snapped because he ain't wanting to meet him in the hole? That's what we're going to, you know, we're going to expose
That
it.
is a
We're
million-dollar
trying to figure it
question.
out.
How
We're
do
trying
you-
to get it done. But right now, I feel very confident that we know what we're doing. We can put you in the position we need to put you in. But also, as a coach, I'm not sitting here just saying, okay, players got to play. Well, hell, it's easy with players. If everybody's
Right.
got players, it's easy. What can we do as a coaching staff to get that mentality fixed?
Well-
What can we do to better prepare them on Friday? And that's what we're doing. That's why we're swapping some things up. That's why we're doing certain situational things. I promise you, we are looking from a coaching perspective. We're not sitting back with our arms crossed going, well,
No.
if they play better, we'll do fine.
No.
That's not what we're sitting here doing.
No, and I
promise
have
you
not
that.
seen that. Now, to your benefit and to your credit, you have
Agreed.
changed. You've adapted.
Oh, if you've seen, you've
Every
watched our
ball
offense the
game.
last couple of years. We'll adapt in
Hey.
a minute.
But, Coach, to answer your question on some of that, you know, and again, I'm a firm believer in it, is, and I lost my words here for a second, but that kid, my philosophy has always been, if you quit on me in practice, you're going to quit on me in the game. And so if you make these practices brutal to where they're hitting and they're hitting and they're hitting, and you do Oklahoma drills and they're hitting, and all of a sudden they don't want to hit an Oklahoma drill, they're not going to do it in a game. They want to quit on you in practice, but they hang in there. They're going to fight like crazy for you on Friday night. You know, they don't have to like me as a coach. I don't care if they like me, but I want them to respect me. And that is a big thing to me right there. And sometimes you're not going to know until Friday night and the lights are on. Some kids can do great in practice, then they get out there on
Well,
Friday
that's
night.
what we
in the
we feel, and that's why as a
And
coach,
still.
we're definitely reevaluating. But, you know, like I said, y'all are parents. Anybody listening in, just ask your kids if they think practice is easy.
No.
Just ask
Right.
your kids if they come home and they're running laps around the yard, or they just got plenty of energy. Just if you don't think we're doing enough at Excel's practice, just ask your children if,
There you
if
go.
practice is easy.
They all ought to be sleeping good at night.
But
That's
see,
right.
I've always said, and I don't guess public schools can do it, we almost need, and this is what I wanted to do with you this year, was like a 2-week boot camp. You know what I'm saying? Like during
You
the
definitely
summer.
wasn't doing it this year with the
I know,
coronavirus.
I know.
I don't care if public or
And I've
private.
always said that, where it's like 2 weeks of just pure hell, excuse my language.
It is, right?
Every day, you know, to weed out the ones that want to be out there and want to play, and the ones that want to quit, send them home. I don't care how much talent they got. And, you know, that to me would help a lot with the mentality. But again, I'm old school. So,
Well, I mean, you
Well, you
being a
gotta-
Marine and all, there was a such thing as Hell Week when you were a Marine,
Look,
right? And
look,
so, I mean,
you took
that's
60 kids from all around the nation, you locked them up for 12 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever.
right.
By the end of that, you had 60 kids from every kind of walk of life functioning as one complete unit.
Right.
How do they do that? There's no great key to that.
No.
It's hard work, it's discipline, and punishing them every chance you get. Like I said, kids would hate me if I was a high school coach.
It is. Look, and I understand, and we build all that, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I will push back a little bit, right? We got a little debate we can
Sure,
go on with this.
Absolutely. It's healthy.
I push back at that. Like, to me, if you come see and you got a son out there in the summer, I promise you, what we put them through in the summer, you talking about weeding people out, it's no accident we average about 9 to 12 kids dropping out in the summer each year.
Yeah, if they don't quit, you're not
if you
doing
are
enough.
out there at Excel football, you want to be out there. And here's the thing, and we struggle with it, and I'm with you, because I believe a lot of the motivation stuff you get, I believe a lot of the team building, you look to the military. I mean, that's what matters. It's the best to do it. But here's where you got to kind of draw the parallel a little bit. In the military, you ask 18-year-old kids, right? 18-year-old kids playing for life and death.
That's right.
If life and death don't focus you, I don't know what will. You ain't worried about no Snapchat. You ain't worried about your girlfriend in the stands. You're worried about life and death, and you're worried about the guy beside you. Also, when you say in the military, what are they able to do? They're able to cut you off and isolate you from everything else.
That's right.
There's absolutely no distractions in your life. The only thing you worried about is that drill sergeant. He tells you when the sun comes up. He tells you when it's time to go to bed.
That's a good point.
You got complete control over everything.
Okay.
We trying to get 14, 15, 16-year-old kids out here to focus under the lights when you got roughly a couple thousand people yelling at them, telling them they suck, telling them they're good, whatever it is. Little Johnny in the stand, sending him a message, sitting by his girl, whatever. And all that's an excuse. But my point is, if the kid wants to do it, he can wade through all that. And that's what we're trying to figure out, how much of that is coaching to where we eliminate that clutter, and then how much of it is the child saying, I'm going to take control of my life, my play, and I'm going to step up and do this. And that's what we're trying to figure out, because at the end of the day, it's all lead the horse to the water, and you can't make him drink.
Right.
All I can do is prepare you for Friday. All I can do is prepare you for what you're going to see and prepare you to make the play that you need to make.
Yeah.
Now, as a coach, that's what I'm looking at. Why are you not making the plays? Is it your mentality? Is it your effort? Is it me not getting you prepared? And all of those things are being looked at. All of those things are trying to get fixed. But I promise you, if you could tell me I could lock them in a room for 2 or 3 weeks and they couldn't talk to nobody but me,
and take that cell phone away.
I'm down with that 100%.
Just take the cell phone away for a couple of weeks would be easy.
But it's a little bit of a different animal. It is.
Well, it is, man. Back in the old days, a coach could tell you what to wear, how to cut your hair.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They had a little bit more of that control back in the old days.
Yes, sir.
Today, you get your butt sued. Today, you can't do. I don't even think you're allowed to hit but so many days a week now, right?
Yes, that's true too. Like you're talking about physical, we struggle, but we see teams that are physical, and that's a great point. And I don't even know the answer to that, Ashley, but now it's illegal to have full contact practices back to back.
Right.
But y'all watched the team Friday that was physical, and they practiced the same amount as us. So how? So
what are they
to
doing?
your point, that's what I mean. What are they doing different than we are? If they're only doing, because when we go full pads, like I said, guys, we're full contact. It's full tilt the whole time.
Right.
So why don't we look like that? And
So in regards to that, in regards to that statement, do you see the hitting, the contact, the physicality? Do you see it more at practice with their peers than you do against the opponents?
I don't, and this is where you get it gets tricky. And I'm an honest man, so it is what it is. I'm just going to shoot from the hip on this.
Sure.
The competition we face at practice is not half the type of competition we're going to face in the game.
That was my point. Yes.
And that's not again. I love our scout team guys. And look, guys, we go best on best. I don't know if y'all have come to practice.
Yeah.
We go best on best.
Right.
Matter of fact, understandably so, I feel bad for some of the kids who don't get as much practice time. They work hard. They don't get to play a lot, and now we're trying to go best on best. Sometimes they don't get to practice a lot. That's tough. I hate that. But once again, our number one job is to get them ready for Friday, right? So I got to put the closest thing to what they're going to see on Friday. But you and me both know you don't see that. And to me, Rocky, I don't know. This is what we're trying to figure out. Is that why we're not firing off the ball? Is that why we're not coming off? Because it does not look as fast Monday through Wednesday as it does on Friday. How do we simulate that? I can't go get a whole new group of kids just to run harder. Because in group, don't tell me we're not going best on best. Sometimes we do fire off. We got number 1 versus 1A, so they see it.
Coach, that's a good point. And you remember I brought that up before the show.
Yes, sir, you did.
If you got a senior lineman hitting a 9th grader, and even though that's a 285-pound 9th grader, that's tough, it's still
Yeah.
ain't going
He
to
don't
match
fire
not
it
the
up.
same.
That ninth grader don't fire off like
So
the
he's
junior
getting
from
used
Bayside
to
or the
playing
junior
at
from
that
Newcastle.
level.
Yes.
Then when he gets out there Friday night, man, this a whole. He's in shock really after the first couple of hits.
Yes, and I even think a little bit to touch on that. I agree. At first, I thought, okay, we're in shock by it, but then what did I tell y'all? Our biggest thing is what we're not consistent, right? Well, when you're not going against the best competition, you get away with being consistent, and that's where coaching. I'm trying to do better, but I can't lie. It's sometimes hard to watch every position, and I may not can tell you that the right tackle took 100% of his steps if I'm trying to watch everybody, but he dadgum needs to. So that's my point.
And
In
nobody
practice, he would
knows.
get if the right competition was you wouldn't have to look. He would be getting whooped.
That's right.
He's getting away with it sometimes because of the competition.
Well, and in case the listeners don't know, you're not going to get anybody that knows no more about linemen than Cody Sellers.
I agree.
I mean, and you know, Cody, I remember the year you, actually the first year I met you, and I loved you from that first year because of your mentality out there with the offensive lineman. You had those jokers running bleachers.
Oh, I missed that. I had to put a little back to bed when I become a head coach. But yeah, I missed that.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
I love that.
Those linemen worked harder than anybody on that team when he was coaching the linemen. They were doing, after practice, they'd be on the bleachers, running bleachers. They'd
I
be
love
out there
seeing
bear
bleachers.
crawling. They
Love
would be
it.
pushing the sled. Nobody knows more about linemen than Cody Sellers. And I'm going to tell you that.
You probably put the
I
biggest.
appreciate that. I do. Big time. That's a head coach. I guess the jury's still out, but I think I got
Yeah,
a pretty,
but Cody, the
a pretty good
basics are still
reputation
the
as
same.
The
man.
basics
I agree,
are the
but
same.
as an O-line guy, I'll be candid. We all talking shop right now, and who knows what the future holds. But we trying to make some moves. We need an offensive line coach because I am an O-line coach. That's a team within a team.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you right now, the offensive line does not get as much attention as they need to because I'm also the head coach and offensive coordinator.
Right.
So we need a good offensive line guy. I would love to clone me and just sitting down there not that I'm the greatest, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, you know
So I
your
just wanna
stuff.
state
You know your
that
stuff on the line.
I vouched that with Ash McFall, and me sitting here saying I know the line. I'm also telling you I know how to coach it, and it is a team within a team.
It
You
is.
need a guy who, and look, things will happen. We'll see how it works out, but you need a guy who you basically, that's his group, that's his folks. He's eating, sleeping, breathing it. He's watching them in scrimmage. I mean,
Well,
and that's
I want to tell
another
you,
thing I think can help us.
those boys were hard as nails that year. Now, they were small, if I remember right. You know, we were tiny, and I think Tristan he had a lot of people in his face, got hammered a few times that year. But you couldn't say it wasn't because the offensive line wasn't working, man.
I think we had about a 150-pound guard.
Yes, we did. And I
32
remember
of them.
one of the guys from WS, no, it was T.R. Miller. Yeah, it was T.R. Miller was like 350 pounds, 6'6". I mean, that was like their line out there, you know. But anyway, yeah. So again, though, we need to get off of all that stuff.
I do want to. I want to echo this, and this is a thank you from just the bottom of my heart, and I sincerely mean this. That sled moving out of his tracks to me was like Christmas come early, and I want to thank you personally for that.
You're welcome.
Well,
Just
I think
because-
that'll help with the mismatches.
Oh my word,
and
man! I
scrimmage doing
believe in it. I just believe in that tool so much because I know how it helped develop me as a player.
that. Yeah, and you play how many years of college football?
Yeah, I know. Really, I'm the greatest ever. But
You can't beat the sled, man. I'm with you.
you can't beat
I
it.
agree.
You
It's,
can't beat it, and it
like I
don't
said, get
lie.
back to the basics. We have
I love it. I
some
love it.
experience, and
I
that's
think
what
you're
have
on the
to
right
remind them, boys, this is where it all
Well,
starts now.
like
That's
I
it.
said,
I like
we got to get behind the team. We got to get behind our coach. We're not going to agree on everything.
No, that's-
Right.
that's
You know,
right.
nobody is. But the bottom line is you're still the head coach.
That's right.
And your decision is what matters. So everybody else's back seat.
Well, I will, but I expect. I know Rocky's been having a question. I know time's ticking, and let's get that out there. I know you got a question for me.
Hey, we'll
People been
talk
asking
about
you.
that
I wanna
right
know.
after.
Let's get it out. We good.
We'll talk about that question right after we come back from the break. You're listening to Panther Talk on 92.5.
Look around your living room. Is your couch sagging? Is your recliner held together by duct tape? And your bed? Maybe you don't get a good night's sleep because it's over 20 years old. It's time to upgrade. It's 2017 with D&D Furniture, Frisco City. D&D Furniture has your sofa, recliner, bedroom furniture, sectionals, mattresses, dining tables, and chairs. The list goes on and on. D&D Furniture, your Ashley Furniture distributor. If you don't see it, they can order it. It will beat anyone's price. They deliver free within 100 miles. D&D Furniture, 19 Central Street, Frisco City, 251-267-3767. Look for the big yellow and blue building and like D&D Furniture on Facebook.
One of the most important things you can do for your family is also one of the most difficult to think about. Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery is here for you. Pre-planning your final arrangements protects your family from additional stress and anxiety and comforts them with peace of mind knowing you made arrangements in advance. It's all about concern for you and your family's future. Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery is here for you. They can help you prepare so they won't be burdened with final arrangements during a time of grief. Call the professional staff at Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery, 2252 Highway 84, West Frisco City, Alabama. Your local memorial provider. Call 251-575-5200. That's 251-575-5200 or visit monroechapel.com.
A familiar place with some new faces and a new name is back. Nichols Bait and Tackle, formerly JJ's, is now open. Owner David Nichols invites you to stop by and pick up some live bait and tackle before your fishing trip. Ice cold drinks, snacks, and ethanol-free gas. Be prepared for that cookout or camping trip and pick up your propane. Nichols Bait and Tackle, 1197 Highway 84 East, Monroeville. Bait, tackle, and a whole lot more. Nichols Bait and Tackle, 251-765-2740. Monroeville.
It's time to move. Haul, clean, cut. South Alabama Kubota has what you need to get the job done. Check out the new Husqvarna's Z454 with 17 height adjustment positions of the cutting deck, all controllable by easy foot activation. Get your yard under control with this beast of a zero turn. South Alabama Kubota has 6x10 and 6x12 single axle 3,500-pound capacity trailers back in stock. Kubota, Skag, Echo, K2 coolers, rental and used equipment too. Farmers, homeowners, come on down and talk to Daniel, Michael, Bob, and the crew at South Alabama Kubota, 2951 South Alabama Avenue, or visit southalabamacubota.com, 251-575-3146. Get the job done with the hometown team at South Alabama Kubota, Monroeville.
Harrigan Lumber Company has been doing business in South Alabama for over 40 years. The company is still owned and operated by the Harrigan family, who live right here in our neck of the woods. You don't stay in business for 40 years without treating people right. And ever since they've been in business, the owners and employees of Harrigan Lumber Company have earned a reputation for doing just that. If you've got timber to sell, call the folks at Harrigan Lumber Company. They'll offer a fair price and will treat you like their neighbor. After all, they are your neighbor. So give Harrigan Lumber Company a call at 575-4821 or look them up online at harriganlumber.com.
When you're stranded by the road with a flat tire and no spare, who are you going to call? Call Castello's Towing at 251-765-3088 and let Castello's do the work. Castello's Towing will pick up your car, truck, or big rig, and they'll repair it too. It's time to do business with a hometown crew that'll be there for you. Call Castello's Towing. Remember their number, 251-765-3088. That's 251-765-3088. Let Castello's Towing do the work and repair for your ride. Who are you going to call? Castello's Towing. 251-765-3088. 2420 Highway 136 West, Excel, Alabama.
When a new restaurant opens in town, everyone gets excited. And when that restaurant has great food and a great menu, well, we call that crazy. As in Crazy J's, Frisco City's newest restaurant. Start with the weekly lunch special with fixins like pork chops, cornbread, great sides like lima beans, rice and gravy, and more. 3801 Bowden Street. Want to know what they've got cooking in the kitchen? Call 251-267-7080. That's 251-267-7080. Or you might even find specials on Facebook. Unpredictable, a little crazy, but good food. Crazy J's, 3801 Bowden Street, Frisco City. Serving Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 10:30 in the morning till 9 at night. Friday and Saturday till 10 in the evening, and Sunday morning starting at 10:30 till 8 at night. Everyone's going crazy for Crazy J's.
Welcome back, Panther fans. So we're just about getting ready to wrap things up. First off, want to thank our sponsors, for making this thing happen, and you all just heard a word from them. If it wasn't for them, Ashley and I would not be able to do this with Coach Sellers on Thursday night, and we certainly wouldn't be able to commentate the games, bring you the live play-by-play coverage on Friday nights under the lights. So if you're listening to us live here on 92.5 or you're watching us on Twitch TV or Rooster Sports, or roostercountrysports.com, we want to thank that and our owner of the station, kind of the unsung hero, Mr. Damon, by allowing us to do this, and Mr. and Miss Cross running the station and all as well. So I just want to give credit there where it's due. And Coach, this one has been a lot of tough questions and all for you. And
that's fine, baby. We're good.
So I want to commend you how well you've done on answering them all and being candid. And just like we were discussing, during the break, a lot of us always have questions. We're always scratching our head and wondering why exactly. But if you don't see, if you're not driving and you're sitting in the passenger seat, you don't see the deer coming. You don't know why the car swerved. You just know the car swerved. So the car swerved during kneel. Okay. And this question has been posed a lot. We're right there around a foot or less from goal line. Line up in the shotgun. It's not something traditional that we see. Traditionally, you get under center and you push across and pick up the 6. What was your thought?
And I'm not gonna lie, Coach, I almost cussed on the air when I saw, and everybody out there knows I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't admit to it, because I was like, oh my God, and I didn't even mean it. I was like, what is he doing, not lining up under center? You got a 200-pound quarterback. I was like, Lord.
Well, we don't have a 200. Well, yeah, I guess we do have a 200-pound quarterback. We have a 200-pound quarterback. No, our thinking at the time was when we got down there, that package is called Rhino for us, and we ran it last year. Same formation, and I think we charted it where we ran it 11 times and converted 9 out of the 11 times. So going into the first game, that was going to be kind of our short yardage package. Never matter it wouldn't matter if we were at the goal line or 4th and short, 3rd and short. Rhino was going to be our heavy package where we directly snap it to our big 250-pound back and try to get him up in there with some blockers. We bring a few extra linemen on the field. We try to go foot to foot. Now, the other thing we're thinking of is we are a shotgun team. Now, as you've seen, we do work under center a little bit, but we are a shotgun team. So one of the things I was definitely concerned about was that if we go under center right now when we're a shotgun team and he fumbles the ball and we have a turnover, to me that was the end-all be-all. And to me it was more of a chance of a turnover from under center than them actually stopping us in our real big Rhino formation with our 250-pound guy getting downhill. Obviously, I was wrong, and hindsight's 20/20. Now, with the type of push that W.S. Neal was able to get on our offensive line on that package, I don't know if a quarterback sneak would have worked on that either when they're blowing you up from A-gap all the way to C-gap.
True.
But I do understand what, people think, hey, it's a shorter distance. Yes, for the quarterback sneak, you would have been right. Now, if we would have been in just under center and we turned around to hand the ball to the big 250-pound guy, he's standing right there where we snapped the ball to him at shotgun, so that's the same amount of yards. So I get the argument that, hey, you should have got up in there and did a quarterback sneak. Hey, maybe so, buddy. It's really easy to say that now because the other options didn't work.
That's
and I bet I wish I could have went back and called a quarterback sneak as well. But my thinking at the time was, Lord, no way we can fumble this ball. And as a coach, what do? You put yourself in the position to succeed. We had practiced Rhino a lot.
Right.
We had a lot of success in practice with it. We had a lot of success in the previous season. We don't get under center that much. So at that crucial moment in the game, you ask yourself, what does your team practice more? What does your team do better? And at that moment, we thought it was snap it to big 250, let him get downhill, get 2 or 3 yards.
You definitely don't want to
and
do
it didn't work out
something
that way.
That
hindsight's always 20/20.
Well, and he's right. You don't want to do something that you don't do all the time. That you're not.
I agree.
That's not the time to try it out right there. You do what you're most comfortable in.
I agree.
And
you stick with what works.
We went with what we thought was best.
Yeah,
but hey, coaching, as y'all noticed, we try to do coaching changes. I admit when I make mistakes. Y'all saw the next week. We obviously are a lot more comfortable getting under center now because we worked on that. And you did not see the Rhino package last week because it is not working out like we hoped it would.
And that was my point, Cody, earlier. You are adapting. I mean, I've seen you adapt, and it hasn't been going the way we wanted to. This has been a crazy Panther talk today.
It has.
It's been more of a debriefing, I guess. And
well, I told you I was
been
going to show up by myself because that's a
Yeah.
tough loss, and I didn't want nobody else to have to face the music. I don't want these kids sitting up here facing.
And
I
you
don't
know
want my
what?
assistant. It's on me.
And next week we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Hillcrest. And
That's right.
what we're doing to prepare for Hillcrest.
Yes.
Because we got to put Bayside behind us now. Learn where we messed up, and it looks like you're doing that and trying to do that. And that's all we can do. And move forward and get ready to beat Hillcrest because, you know, whine, cry, think you can coach better, whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you beat Hillcrest Friday night, we're still in the driver's seat.
Oh, no
That's
doubt.
right.
And
No
we
doubt,
can
we told the boys
still
we're
have a
planning to
great
beat
season.
Hillcrest, next Friday. That's what our plan is. But we look at it now, and the totality is, I believe we have 5 or 6 region games left.
That's
we
right.
got to win 3 of them.
You got to win
when
3.
it happens, don't know how it happens. We got to win 3 of them to at least get to our goal
And
that we want to do.
For those out here that wondering, what are the remaining regional teams?
Remaining region games, we have Hillcrest, Evergreen, T.R. Miller, Flominton, Cottage Hill, and Chickasaw.
There you go.
And you know what? There ain't any weak teams
No.
on there.
No,
No,
every team in our
No.
region but us made the playoffs last year because the 2A teams that moved up were. Look, we have a tough schedule, and that's the other thing that we are witnessing right now is there is no game for the learning curve, boys. There is no
There
time
is
to
none.
hold your
No,
breath
there's not.
and get after it. I mean, every game we play is difficult.
You're playing
every
quality
game we play
teams.
is a challenge, and that's where the race is to stay healthy, to get better. And, we're also hoping in the back pocket. I don't want to give some stuff away. I think we got some guys coming back that we have had out
Good.
for a while. And I
Good.
think we're going to get at least 2 of those guys back for Hillcrest, maybe even 3, but I feel really good about getting at least 2 of those guys back.
Well, Cody, I just want to say personally, man, this was a tough. If anybody's questioning Coach Cody, anybody
Oh, don't
has
worry. I know plenty of them. It's okay. It's
answer,
okay.
anybody want to know what's going on, they need to
No, sir.
listen to this radio show because we brought all the questions out there.
It's there.
You've answered them, and to me, you've answered to my satisfaction. That means a lot about you, a lot about your character.
Well, I appreciate that, and I want
And-
to say that. If we got anybody listening, I tell people all the time, obviously I don't want you showing up at my house. Don't bother me during my family time, but I realize the position I have, and I'll answer any question. But
There you
I
go.
don't get mad at you for asking questions, not talking to you, gentlemen. We're putting it out for everybody. But don't get mad at me when I tell you the answer. Anybody's welcome to come talk to me anytime. I'm
like
easy
that.
to find. I'm around the field house all day. Pick up the phone. If you don't want to do it eyeball to eyeball, but you can come talk to me about anything. I'll tell you anything you want to hear.
Well, Coach, I like what I'm hearing,
I like
man.
that.
And,
That's
and
probably the best answer ever.
we got to support our team. We got to support Excel. We got to support you, and we got to support those players. And we're going to do it. At the end of the day, that's what we got to do, and that's who we are. And
It is, and you want to brag. I'm
Yeah.
gonna brag on my guys because I hope everybody understands I'm hard on these boys, and I talk about some stuff going on today. Like you said, it was a debriefing, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be nowhere else, and I wouldn't want to coach any other kids. And they're out there in 100-degree temperature, still
Doggone
going
right.
hard after getting their butt beat 2 weeks.
And that's
A
hard
lot
to
of
do
people
now.
give
That
up on it.
is.
that's
That
hard
is.
to do. And if anything else, these boys, that should make them mentally tough right there. I mean,
Agreed.
why work your butt off if you think you're going to get your brains beat out again the next Friday?
Oh, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go out there and practice to win, then good things are going to happen sooner or later. And anyway, we appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sorry
I
for
do.
some of these tough questions.
No, you good. No, don't worry about that.
And they were, and like I said, I think you handled them really, really well, and I think you answered a lot of questions that was on people's minds, wondering. But the positive side of it, looking at it, if they're asking questions, if they're wanting to know something, they're interested in the program.
That's always a good thing.
You care
Always a
about
good
something. If you're not frustrated about something from time to time, then it obviously means you don't care. So with that being said, we can appreciate the fact of frustrations coming from people around because they care. Their heart and soul is black and gold. So we can appreciate that as well. And thank you again for joining us today. Thank our sponsors again for making this possible and bringing you Panther Talk on Thursday night, as well as live play-by-play coverage every Friday night right here on 92.5. For Coach Cody Sellers, Ashley McFall, and myself, you've been listening to Panther Talk here on 92.5.
When a new restaurant opens in town, everyone gets excited. And when that restaurant has great food and a great menu, well, we call that crazy. As in Crazy J's, Frisco City's newest restaurant. Start with the weekly lunch special with fixins like pork chops, cornbread, great sides like lima beans, rice and gravy, and more. 3801 Bowden Street. Want to know what they've got cooking in the kitchen? Call 251-267-7080. That's 251-267-7080. Or you might even find specials on Facebook. Unpredictable, a little crazy, but good food. Crazy J's, 3801 Bowden Street, Frisco City. Serving Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 10:30 in the morning till 9 at night. Friday and Saturday till 10 in the evening, and Sunday morning starting at 10:30 till 8 at night. Everyone's going crazy for Crazy J's.
When you're stranded by the road with a flat tire and no spare, who are you going to call? Call Castello's Towing at 251-765-3088 and let Castello's do the work. Castello's Towing will pick up your car, truck, or big rig, and they'll repair it too. It's time to do business with a hometown crew that'll be there for you. Call Castello's Towing. Remember their number, 251-765-3088. That's 251-765-3088. Let Castello's Towing do the work and repair for your ride. Who are you going to call? Castello's Towing. 251-765-3088. 2420 Highway 136 West, Excel, Alabama.
Harrigan Lumber Company has been doing business in South Alabama for over 40 years. The company is still owned and operated by the Harrigan family, who live right here in our neck of the woods. You don't stay in business for 40 years without treating people right. And ever since they've been in business, the owners and employees of Harrigan Lumber Company have earned a reputation for doing just that. If you've got timber to sell, call the folks at Harrigan Lumber Company. They'll offer a fair price and will treat you like their neighbor. After all, they are your neighbor. So give Harrigan Lumber Company a call at 575-4821 or look them up online at harriganlumber.com.
It's time to move. Haul, clean, cut. South Alabama Kubota has what you need to get the job done. Check out the new Husqvarna's Z454 with 17 height adjustment positions of the cutting deck, all controllable by easy foot activation. Get your yard under control with this beast of a zero turn. South Alabama Kubota has 6x10 and 6x12 single axle 3,500-pound capacity trailers back in stock. Kubota, Skag, Echo, K2 coolers, rental and used equipment too. Farmers, homeowners, come on down and talk to Daniel, Michael, Bob, and the crew at South Alabama Kubota, 2951 South Alabama Avenue, or visit southalabamacubota.com, 251-575-3146. Get the job done with the hometown team at South Alabama Kubota, Monroeville.
A familiar place with some new faces and a new name is back. Nichols Bait and Tackle, formerly JJ's, is now open. Owner David Nichols invites you to stop by and pick up some live bait and tackle before your fishing trip. Ice cold drinks, snacks, and ethanol-free gas. Be prepared for that cookout or camping trip and pick up your propane. Nichols Bait and Tackle, 1197 Highway 84 East, Monroeville. Bait, tackle, and a whole lot more. Nichols Bait and Tackle, 251-765-2740. Monroeville.
One of the most important things you can do for your family is also one of the most difficult to think about. Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery is here for you. Pre-planning your final arrangements protects your family from additional stress and anxiety and comforts them with peace of mind knowing you made arrangements in advance. It's all about concern for you and your family's future. Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery is here for you. They can help you prepare so they won't be burdened with final arrangements during a time of grief. Call the professional staff at Monroe Chapel Funeral Home and Cemetery, 2252 Highway 84, West Frisco City, Alabama. Your local memorial provider. Call 251-575-5200. That's 251-575-5200 or visit monroechapel.com.
Look around your living room. Is your couch sagging? Is your recliner held together by duct tape? And your bed? Maybe you don't get a good night's sleep because it's over 20 years old. It's time to upgrade. It's 2017 with D&D Furniture, Frisco City. D&D Furniture has your sofa, recliner, bedroom furniture, sectionals, mattresses, dining tables, and chairs. The list goes on and on. D&D Furniture, your Ashley Furniture distributor. If you don't see it, they can order it and will beat anyone's price. They deliver free within 100 miles. D&D Furniture, 19 Central Street, Frisco City, 251-267-3767. Look for the big yellow and blue building and like D&D Furniture on Facebook.